And now we're live. We're live on Facebook, YouTube,
That
Twitter.
that was impressive. I was like, "What's going on here?" It's like this seems very professional. I'm like, I'm pretty. I'm
Don't
impressed.
sound so surprised.
But no, but seriously, I was like, "What? We're going live," and all this graphics came up. I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Yeah.
Thanks to the tech guy, Frankie Anderson, for that side of things. It's all downhill from here. So, Brad, it's so nice to see you again. Been ages since I spoke to you, and we've got
Too long.
something really exciting to talk about.
Yes, thank God. Yes. So I'm in a much comfortable position now to talk about it than a long time ago. Yeah, because this is obviously I've been talking about this for years, right? But before I retired, and I'm retired in March 2017. So
Yeah.
it's been a long
So
time.
for anybody that doesn't know, you've finally found a premises for your new gym, the new headquarters of GB Top Team. Now, GB Top Team are already going strong, but obviously you've been borrowing other people's gyms and
Yeah,
training where
yeah.
you can and training at your house. And now, tell us about the gym. It looks magnificent.
Well, at the moment, it's actually just a building site, So, but it's
It's
yeah, so
huge.
it's big. I think it's around about 11,000 square foot, and that sort of premises is not really known of in London. Like
Yeah.
you get them a bit more up north when the space is vast and the prices are not as crazy. I'm truly blessed to have a really good business partner. Very, very good man, Martin Barrett. Very successful businessman, and also with him, I found someone who's got the passion for the sport as well. Obviously he's a businessman, he's a business opportunity, but his main love is for the sport and the passion for it. It kind of reminds me a little bit like Ricardo Laborio and Dan Lambert back in the day.
Wow.
So it kind of reminds me a bit like that, So I know there's a connection between American Top Team and Great British Top Team as well, but because I was there, seeing the connection they had and what they built and what they did, it kind of reminds me of the same.
And tell everyone where the gym is.
The gym is actually based in South London, Morden. For me, it's where I live. I live here now, so
Finally, one
So it's
close
like
to where you live.
Yeah, so it's 10 minutes away. 10 minutes away from my house, and for a person like me, I can't be spending an hour and a half or an hour driving somewhere and then driving back 2 hours or 3 hours traveling to a gym. It's just not time productive, and like successful people do more in their hours of the day. So if I'm spending 3 hours a day traveling, it's just not productive at all. So I can spend those 3 hours helping someone for a fight or coaching this or even spending time with my family, So like for me, it had to be somewhere close to me. So I'm luckily that's why it took a bit of time to find the right premises, especially in these sort of times as well. It hasn't been easy.
And you have done over the years. You have had to spend like hours in a car getting to old gyms and stuff. So I'm sure it's going to be amazing for you to have it just down the road.
Yes, I've worked out. But for me, I mean, like I took fighting seriously, hence it was my job. But I was very I would do anything to go get the best sort of training. So if I had to go travel to Newcastle, I would. Hence why I went to American Top Team for many years. I went there because I understood there wasn't the level of there is now 100%.
Yeah.
There wasn't the level of competition in the UK. And I know about being the big fish, I wanted to go over there and just get beaten up and learn. And also, an understanding. I may not look it, but I'd like to think I'm a bit of a smart person when it came to fighting, where I understood that I need to learn how to wrestle. Not that I like stand up, don't get me wrong, that sort of stuff, but to be an all-round MMA fighter, you need to learn everything. So, and
Yeah.
I understood early on that how important wrestling was to mixed martial arts. And like I said, I've always say in many interviews that for me, wrestling is still the most important thing to have within a fight, because if you're fighting a better grappler than you, you're going to keep it. If you have better wrestling, you're going to keep it on the feet. If you have fighting a good striker, you're going to be able to take it down. Or if you find someone who's very evenly matched in both areas, but you get the edge on the wrestling, you can take them down, you're going to outpoint them. So I think wrestling is the biggest factor within the sport. But then also going back to wrestling, there's wrestling for wrestling and there's wrestling for MMA, which is very different. So I've learned wrestling from an MMA background throughout my career. So I've always, wherever I learned wrestling, I've adapted it to MMA. So my style of wrestling is 100% MMA.
Yeah. And that was definitely a criticism of UK MMA back in the day, that we didn't have that strong wrestling base. So that definitely stood you in good stead. And the Mighty Mouse fight where you took him down over and over.
10, well, not counting him, but it was 10 times in that fight, you know, believe it or not. You know, I'm not counting. Yeah, but no, but I don't think I had trouble taking anyone down in any of my fights, you know. Like I say, going back, even when I go back to the DJ thing, if me and him had a wrestling match, even back then, he would 100% beat me because it's wrestling. But when you're trying to take someone down from a fighting stance, it's completely different. And then also you have the cage, which is only MMA. There's no other combat sport or any other sport where you participate against a background, like a cage or a wall, anything like that. So you don't have it in jiu-jitsu, you don't have it in any other sport. So cage wrestling is only solely MMA, right? So for me, I kind of grew with the sport, and I like to say I believe that's my expertise. Honestly, I could do everything kind of thing, but I say my expertise is cage wrestling. That's where I excel, you know.
Yeah. Well, nice segue there, actually. When Nathaniel was doing, and for anyone who hasn't seen this, if you want to see a tour of the gym, it's on Nathaniel's Instagram.
Yes.
But I loved in like one of the big open bits that you're gonna have loads of mats and stuff. You're gonna have a caged wall and then another padded wall, and it is so different. Just like the feel of the cage against your back is so different even than a padded wall, isn't it?
Yeah. But this thing, well, we're gonna have a 24/6 cage in there anyway, so there's gonna be a cage in there as well. But then what I have like a big matted wall, but it's caged in. And to be honest with you, most people when you train against a wall. Reason being because the cage is a bit coarse, especially on your hands, unless you're wearing gloves, which you should train in gloves. But still, you try and take some down and you grate in your face a little bit. The matted wall is a bit more, you know, practical, but it's good to have that environment. Basically, one reason I cage people in is so you don't fly off the mats, because that would be mainly, that area there is mainly be like the sparring sort of area where a lot of the pros and amateurs and also just general people would be sparring. You don't want them falling off the mat. Where the other mat, I have a big matted area, which is going to be like the BJJ sort of mat, you know.
Yeah. And it is so big. I take it you're going to have just like members who do other classes and, you know, jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. Who you're not just a pro team that will be training there.
It is catered for everybody, you know. For me, I mean, you have to be sensible with this. Isn't like fighters don't really earn you a lot of money. That's not a thing. But this needs to be like has to sustain itself. To sustain itself, you need normal people coming in the door, just going to work and thing. But then those normal people may have a view on going to compete. But we cater for that as well. So we cater for anyone. You want to do it just for just recreational things, just to a bit of fitness, or you want to go on and become a black belt and go down jiu-jitsu route, or you want to go wrestling, you want to do MMA. We're going to cater for everyone, because a bit like just kind of the same as American Top Team. I was American Top Team for like 12 years, so it's like I know that for me is the most successful gym and the biggest gym in the world. You don't reinvent the wheel. You just kind of mimic that. I've been there for such a long time. I know how they run things. Like my protein training now is kind of mirrors what we did in America, what I did when I was in America's Top Team. So it's not rocket science, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I just like, this works really well, did me really well. I do it again with these guys, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you don't need to reinvent the wheel. But when you find somewhere good and you know what you're doing, a lot of pro teams, they just turn up and then, yeah, what are we doing today? What do you want to do? No, not mine. You know what you're doing week in, week out. You turn up, it's this that day, it's that this day, it's this, you know, so you know, and then it's a schedule that human beings need, fighters need structure. You don't want to be thinking, oh, right, what am I going to do today? You need to have that sort of structure, and that's what will be in place 100%. It'll be a very professional ran gym.
Yeah. And then you've got a big S&C section as well. So people
Yeah.
could even sign up, I guess, as members just to use that bit. And if they want to try out the odd class, they might fall in love with
Yeah,
it.
no. Yeah, and no. As
No?
the gymnasium is there for people. It's not going to be like a pure gym where you go in, let's go have a little aerodyne and see you off later. That's going to be in there. There's going to be a cardio stuff there, but that's also like for the fighters and general public to use. But it's not. They're like the main thing coming to the gym is to learn a life skill, learn how to defend yourself, get fit, and doing so. So you know, there is a gym there as well, because I think it's very important to have that there for everyone who wants to do some strength and conditioning, because it's very important. But I'm not going to have, like, you know, it's not like a go gym, you know, where you go in and just got an aerodyne. It's not. You come to my gym because you want to be a better human being, you know, and learn something.
I love that strapline. Stoneboy says, despite his broad Scottish accent, he was also born in East London. I love the fact that you represent East London, from the Chaz and Dave walkout music and the dress sense. One of my favourite fighters.
Yeah, I mean, like I said this in many interviews. So for me, it's like, I'm true to myself. You know, I'm from the East End of London. Chaz and Dave were family friends of my mother's. You know, so it just made sense. It's like I growing up as a kid, I loved hip hop. Man, I was massively into hip hop. I really loved. I played a lot of basketball in the summer, and I loved it. And this is the hip hop of, you know, gangster rap and all that sort of stuff. But it's not me. How stupid would it be me coming out to some Dre music? Yeah. I'm Chaz and Dave. You know, I'm from the East End of London. It's close to me. It meant something to me. So that's what I did. You know, and a lot of people ask me why I came out with a newspaper, but
yeah,
I came out with newspaper because I come from a working class background, and in London, when you go to work, you get the metro, you go to work, and for me, going to the cage was just like another day in the office for me. So it was no thing. So I wore newspaper. Yeah. And also the trilby hat and the braces. Like, I've done this in many interviews, so people don't know what that is about. My granddad used to be a bare knuckle boxer in the 1920s. I didn't know that. Obviously, my granddad died when I was 4, so I didn't really get to know him. But when I got into any sort of fighting, my mum said, "Oh, you get it from your granddad." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And then I looked at pictures of him, and he used to wear a trilby hat and braces, and he used to work as a roofer during the day, but at night time, just to earn a bit of extra money for the family, he used to do bare knuckle boxing, you know. So I kind of got it from him, sort of thing.
Truly in the blood. And I'm so glad that you were, like, kind of before the UFC stopped people having that personality about their walkouts. And I know they let you, for your retirement fight as well, do it again.
All my fights are still always. I was like, no way, you know, like Dana, no way. Like he laughed at me in the end of that. Yeah, so no, I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it did get I had great memories from the WEC into the UFC, and for me back in those days, it was just the golden sort of years where it was like, I know the Fertittas, Dana White, you know, were cool. They're the owners, and it kind of, in a weird way, is a massive organization, but it felt like it was family run, because then you know the owners, you know, like then when it got bought out with whatever it was, they got bought out.
MMA,
yeah, it kind of got a bit more corporate, where you're just a figure. Like, what can you generate? there's no, it's kind of lost the personality a little bit. Right? Then you had the Reebok and got that uniforms. And yet again, that took away a bit of personality from people.
Yeah.
Some people was worried about the fight, about the sponsors. I didn't care about that. You know, I was more care about you taking away my choice to express myself. You know, so But I mean, I lived in those years, the golden years, but now there's a new era, there's new years. People even have no idea. People now have no clue who I am. I bet, you know, people will be like, "Who the hell is this old guy?" You know, but that's
I don't
just
think so.
That's just the nature of the beast, you know.
I don't think we're there yet, Brad. Aaron said, at the start of your career, did you ever see yourself in this amazing position of opening gyms?
Not at all. At the start of my career, I didn't even think it was a career. You know, like when I first started fighting, my first fight I had down in Portsmouth, and I fought a guy who was 10 kilos heavier than me. I didn't get paid. I just got free tickets from my friends to come watch me. It's like,
amazing.
It was in a ring. It was in a smoky room. I remember like looking in the ring and the lights, and it's just all smoke. And you're like, oh my God. Dan Harley was on that guy. Jose Aldo fought in it as well. It was like weird. It was like in England. Yeah, it was like, I was like, I've grown with the sport basically. So back when I was fighting, it was never really a legitimate career path like it is now for young, inspiring athletes. So it was just a bit of fun. It's a bit cool. What do you do? I do a bit of fighting. But obviously, I wasn't earning enough to sustain a life. I didn't get into fighting until I was 26. So of course, I had I had responsibilities at 26, not like I do now. Obviously, having 2 kids, going crazy, but I had responsibility. Still, I had to pay rent. I had to feed myself, you know. So I had to work. So I worked during the day and trained at night time and so on and so forth until I kind of got a bit better and earned a bit more money from fighting, and then managed to do a bit more PTs and so on and so forth. So it was a struggle, and like the UFC never even had my weight class, you know. So it was never even like a thought I was going to fight in the UFC. The UFC done 155 pounds and up. You know, so it was never really on my radar, you know. That's why I signed to the WC, which was the biggest organization at those times. And then obviously it merged with the UFC, so it was awesome. But, you know, so I've grown with this. I grew with the sport, basically. Now, like, a young guy now comes into my gym, 14, 13, and goes, I want to be like Nathaniel Wood or whatever like that. I'd be like, cool, come to the right place. I guide you, and it's a legitimate career path. Where me, growing up as a kid, I was a good athlete. My main sports growing up was like football, cricket, basketball. Believe it or not, even though I'm small, I was quite good at basketball.
But that was how he broke his nose, for anyone who doesn't know.
I broke my nose playing basketball.
That wasn't fighting.
No. And I lost my front tooth in a car accident. So, fighting's good for your health. But so I was good at sports. And if I wanted, I honestly thought growing up, I was going to make it in the football, 100%. I was like best in my school, but you don't realize you can be the best in your school, but you're not the best in the county. And there's levels. And then I'm like, I may not be in the Premiership then, but back then this was Division 1 actually, but I won't be there, but I'll play somewhere. And I got to not a bad standing. I played for a team called Russian Diamonds, which is in G and Vauxhall Conference, and I love football. I didn't really get into combat sport until I was 19. I just took up boxing to keep fit, and also learn how to fight, because learning how to fight, you just don't have to fight by default. People will leave you alone. So it's a good life skill to have. If someone knows you box, they're going to go, let me fight that guy. They'll be like, I ain't going to mess with that guy. He can box. And then obviously having that sort of skill set, I used it a bit more as a vigilante tool where I would look after my friends and family and people who couldn't look after themselves. I'd be like, hey, leave that guy. Being a bit of a vigilante. But it was, I didn't get into fighting until I was like 26, really. Into MMA, that was.
And how far before the end of your career were you thinking about what was next, and when did you come up with the gym idea, and was that
Mm.
going over to American Top Team that made you want to develop that kind of gym?
Getting into the sport at a later age of my life, like 26, I kind of knew I'm not going to be doing that for my daughter in the back. I
Hi,
wasn't going
Poppy.
to. I wasn't going to do it forever, basically. So I knew that I'm going to have to do something else, because being an athlete, you can't compete I've been tired for years, but you can't compete forever. You're going to have something to fall back on. So
Yeah.
not that I knew that anyway. I enjoyed coaching. So every time I went to American Top Team, I'd learn loads of new stuff here and there, and I'd always come back and share my knowledge, because for me, I wanted to train with the best.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of those people where I want to be the best person in the gym. I want to be pushed. So for me, I wanted to help people where I trained in England, and get them better, because they get better, I get better, then I have better partners, and so on and so forth. And then I'll take some of the people from my team in the UK, I'll come over to American Top Team, get out there, train. Many of the people at Team Time, where I used to train in England, I took to American Top Team with me, because I thought, look, you need to come here, you need to experience this. So, and then if I couldn't come, I'll come back and I'll teach, and I'll show them stuff that I've learned. I always really kind of enjoyed teaching. So for me, it was a bit of a natural progression. And then I wanted to, obviously, in the back of my head, I always wanted to have my own gym, and coach, and it'd be my thing. I would say it's taken a long time, many different reasons. One, you need to find the right business partner, and I have,
Yeah.
I mean, like, Mind Barrett, for me, he's like a guardian angel just flying in, and that sort of stuff, So like, a lot to him, yeah. Weird way, I'm getting a bit emotional talking about him. He's been a lifesaver, and he's so good to the team. I know we don't have a gym yet; it's getting built, but he's been so good to the team in general. Like, helping us. We're bouncing around here and there, like we're like the littlest hobo trying to find a home, kind of thing. Getting kicked out here. Even now, one of the gyms I've been training at, they say, look, I only can have 2 days here, so I'm like, okay, 4. So I'm trying to find someone else. So I'm pulling in favors here and there until we get my own place open and running, and then it's going to be like easy. So we're just there. So
I knew it would take you a while, because you are a perfectionist, and I knew you'd want everything to be perfect. I know from Rise of Champions, your fight
yeah,
show, that if it's not perfect, you don't want to put your name to
no,
it.
of
So
course,
I'm not surprised that it's taken you a while, and that it will
yeah.
take a while to get it ready. When is the gym opening?
Going back to what you said, you can never make a first impression twice. So for
Yeah.
me, you need to be. If it's not the standard to start off with, you're already given the full specialized. Say you bought a pair of gloves, no matter what they're called, and you first tried them on and they're crap. 10 years down the line, they could have done whatever, spent so much money, and then you'd be like, oh, those guys are shit. You just won't try
Yeah.
them on again. So for me, you can never make a first impression twice. So that's why it's always very important. Going back to the show Rise of Champions, that's on hold. That's not been on hold until I got my gym up and running. Once that's up and running, that is 100% coming back, because I need a platform for the fight to fight on. There's so many good platforms here in the UK as well. But for me, it just comes hand in hand with what I have, part of the business and stuff like that. And me, I wasn't in Rising Champions trying to earn loads of money and being one of those promoters. Whatever I earned, I spent back on the show, and always made
You
it.
wanted it to look
I didn't
excellent.
earn a penny. Like, it's literally what we earned always went back into the show, and so on and so forth. So that's definitely not dead in the water. Going to what you originally said, because I remember that I normally forget these things, but when the gym's going to be open, we're looking. Well, it's getting all the building work's getting done now. So like, as you saw on the Packers video, like you see all the things getting kind of knocked down. The showers and changing rooms going to get built. The sauna's going to get put in there. all the building work's getting done. The mats, which I've ordered, and I've also, again, as you know me, state-of-the-art equipment, Donmore matting, you know, the best matting you could get, got the best cage, but, you know, that sort of shenanigans, everything's going to be mint. But that's taking time as well. We're not good. That's not hitting our border, I think, until mid to late October. Then it's got to get fitted, you know. So these things turn around quick, but just before that even enters our soil, it's going to be like towards the end of October. So then it's going to take a few weeks to fit out. So I'm loosely saying probably November time, you know, it's going to be running. Obviously, it'll probably be open first for the pros to get in to try it all out before we open to the general public.
Well, I'd love to come down and speak to you in person once
Of
it is
course.
open, and do a tour of the gym for everyone once it's all finished. It would be
Yeah.
amazing to get down there. Stoneboy said you've had a long, brilliant career. Which fight for you was the most memorable?
I have different. It's weird when you look back on your career, like things like what happened in your career may mean a lot more now than it did at the time. You know, it's like obviously everyone always goes on about my Demetrius Johnson fight. I was the first person to beat myself. For me, that didn't mean at the time. It was just like 14-0 kid. You know, I didn't have no clue that where it was going to go. So it meant nothing to me. You know, beating him. So that wasn't that. So I think for me a couple of the most memorable things for me would be like when I got into any sort of level of fighting where I knew I was going to travel around the world and do stuff. I'm like, I need to fight in Vegas, 100%. So making my WEC promotion debut in Vegas, in the Palms, was amazing. Signed to the WEC, I'm going to fight in Vegas, and then fighting in Vegas and winning my debut by I think it was the first ever on WEC, but the second ever in the UFC Zuffa history was at the time was a proven necktie, a very rare submission. Win that and win fight of the night in my WEC debut. That was a very special moment for me. You know, that's one that stand out for me. So it wasn't much just that fight. It was that occasion. It's probably one of the most memorable things for me.
Yeah. Definitely, absolutely amazing. Stoneboy says, do you think Katie should replace the picture on the wall of Nate to a picture of you and her? I think that would be creepy, Stoneboy. I have got many photos with Brad. One of them is on my wall upstairs, along with many other fighters. Don't panic, Brad. I've got a wall of fame.
What? It's in your bedroom. What are you on about?
It's not my bedroom.
It's on the ceiling.
It's my dressing room.
It's on the ceiling, right? So you lay down at night. Look.
No, not that bad, but it's my wall of fame, and Nathaniel's up there with his Cage Warriors belt, and there's you don't need to panic. But
no, I'm not.
I could just replace the photo every time with somebody that I'm interviewing, but I don't want to creep them out.
Yeah, that I wouldn't lie. That would, if it was me in the back of the I'd be like, I'd be honoured, but I'd be like, okay. Right. And then if I knew if was a fan, I was going to change every time. I'm like, I know you like, you just try to get some brownie points.
Yeah. So while I've got you on, I just thought I'd ask you about some of your team and how they're getting on at the moment. Okay. I know, sadly, Nathaniel was supposed to be fighting on the September 4th card that was going to be in London, and I'm absolutely gutted for him that he's injured his hand again. Did he just had surgery again?
No, luckily the break doesn't require surgery, which is the godsend. Because if you have to have plates in there, it's going to be longer. So it was a clean break, but any break is just
same hand.
Same hand, yeah, just a different part of his hand. It's just very frustrating because you just know as a fighter how much you put into this sort of thing, and it's your job. And people don't realize you're self-employed as such, even though you're contracted to UFC, you're self-employed. You don't get paid a weekly salary or anything like that. You're paid to fight, to perform. So if you don't fight, you're not earning. So like, it does kind of suck, a little bit. And don't get me wrong, you could earn great money in the UFC if you're regular. But if you fight once a year, it's not really a sustainable,
No. And
lifestyle.
he hasn't fought for over a year now, has he?
Yeah,
closer to 2, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been. His last fight was against Casey Kenny, but yet again he hurt his knuckle. But this was different. He like put a tendon off one of his knuckles, which made it very hot, like very painful. And it wasn't like a break. But this break should be quite not wood, not Nathaniel Wood. Yeah, there you go. It should be it's pretty straightforward, So like you see him on his Instagram, he's moving it, and he's one of those people that we can't use that hand. He'll be doing everything else, jabs, kicks, like he did. He dislocated his elbow once. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Mate, yeah. No, he's not getting the best of luck, the poor lad.
Oh, well, big shout out to Nathaniel. We hope to see you back in there soon. Claire Lopez, I wanted to talk to you about her because she just had a big night, a one-night tournament that she got all the way to the end of Combat Americas or Combat Global, I think they're called
Combat
now.
Global now, Combat Global. Yeah, no, for me, that's a great experience for her to be in. For one, it's the second ever like all-girl one-night tournament that has ever happened. So that was massive in a while, and just being able to, again, like I said to her, just traveling, doing what you love doing. It's just memories. I remember when I first started fighting, when I started to travel, I went to Costa Rica for 2 weeks. I was on a beach in Costa Rica, and I had to fight on a beach. And I was there for 2 weeks. It was just I earned good money doing that. But for me, like even though I didn't earn anything, it's just like I went to Costa Rica and I had a fight. It was like a great lifestyle, great life story. Sorry, so saying to her, like, that's just a great life experience, and she did really well. It would have sucked if she went there, got beaten the first round, got sent home. Sucked ass, but she done really, really well. First fight, she dominated. Won that by decision. Second fight, she submitted the girl in the first round. Then got into the final. Unfortunately, she came up in my eyes. She came up against a bit of a specimen. I mean, I look at certain people, and I think some people. Not saying that Claire's not good. I think Claire is technically better than this girl, right?
Yeah.
So if they fought each other like 10 times, there could be loads of different outcomes, right? But it's just what happened that night. She went for a takedown. She didn't quite happen. Then she got rushed, and it kind of happened went all over quickly. But looking at the other girl, I do believe that this girl, like she's 7-0. I do believe that she could go and really go far.
Yeah.
And Claire, like I say, it's not as if Claire got outclassed or Claire made any mistakes. She didn't make any mistakes. She didn't get outclassed. It's just that's happened sometimes, like the other girl just fought really well and got the better luck of the draw that time. Doesn't mean it'll always be that way. But it was gutting. She was obviously very disappointed because she's a competitor. So obviously, you want to win every fight you're in. But looking back in hindsight, she's going to be like, that was cool, and 100% they're going to want her back to fight for them again, which is, like I say, brilliant.
Great show as well. They're doing big things at the moment, so it's a good one to be involved with.
Sure.
Olga Rubin, it's her birthday today, so I wanted to give her a little shout out and say happy birthday, Olga.
Yeah, happy.
And then Mike Ekendeo, he's on the Bellator London card.
Correct. Yeah.
Excited to have him back fighting in London.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, like I've been trying to get him to sorry, my battery. But I tried to get him to we've been trying to get him a fight for some time elsewhere, here, there and there. But he hasn't got a passport. He's been applying for a passport. It's been taking forever,
Oh no.
absolutely forever to get his passport. So that's why he's been UK bound. Luckily, Bellator coming back to the UK and coming back to the UK, and she'll be on. He'll 100% be on the card. 1 second.
Oh, that's wicked, and especially with I think Bonnie's making an entrance.
My ferocious
Hey,
dog.
Bonnie.
my ferocious dog was scratching on the door.
It's lovely to see you, Bonnie. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so it'll be like a bit of a Rise of Champions reunion with Luke Trainer on the card as well. So I'm pleased about that. And then I just wanted to quickly talk about some of the fights that the boys have just had. Vad and Yuki just won on Olympus Fight Series. Both doing well.
Yeah, we had a few people. Hassan Ghazali also fought as well and won on there. He was the only pro fighting on that card. We've got quite a few people fighting soon. We've got Dan Collins. He's supposed to be fighting Mike Cutting somewhere. I've just been matching up a lot of other guys in the next Olympics Fight Series, which is going to be in November time. So I've got quite a few amateurs on there. I've got a few people fighting in October, one on the Bellator, and there's a few other shows around there. So I've got to look at my schedule. I mean, like, I've got quite a big team. I have a lot of people fighting.
I was going to ask you who I've missed out that we should be talking about. Will Wesley Meyer be on the next Cage Warriors?
Sorry. Yeah, he's on the next Cage Warriors. He's on the next Cage Warriors. Dom Wooding's on the next Cage Warriors as well.
Of course, he got that amazing knockout of the last trilogy.
Yeah, Will Curry's going to be the next Cage Warriors as well. Who else is on that? Emma's not. Emma's was looking to be fighting on UAE Warriors. I'm trying to think if no one else on the Cage Warriors show is there. I'm trying to get Lonnie and Nick there because they're the sort of level of fighters.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a lot of joy with them. That sort of stuff. But yeah.
Come on in, Dean. Match them up.
Yes.
Well, we're going to get in trouble probably for someone we've missed off, but
100%. Yeah, but they know I love them all. They know how busy I am, so they can forgive me. Also, always fall back on this. I got hit in the head for a living, so I got that. I'm allowed to forget a few things.
Well, I've got an open door for any of your team that have got a fight coming up. I'd love to chat to them about it. I'd love to go along to the shows and see them down there. So
if you keep in touch with me, I could always let you know who's fighting when and next.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Definitely.
And
is there anyone else that? Oh, sorry, go on.
And I love them to get on that show because for me, I speak to them a lot as in like. They need to do this sort of interviews, get used to this sort of stuff, and you're very good at interviewing as well. So it's a good experience for them as well.
Yeah, you don't want Ariel to be your first interview, so I'm happy to break them all in.
Yeah, I'm not good. I've been interviewed by Ariel a few times, and I'm going to say you're up there, Kate. You're up there.
Peter Knox, I hope you're hearing this. Craig said Brad's an OG of the British MMA scene. You must get that all the time. And I quote you all the time on this of saying you're like the best type of famous that there is, because when you go to Tesco or Sainsbury's or whatever, like you're not mobbed when you're trying to pick up your apples. But when you walk into Cage Warriors or wherever, you do get absolutely mobbed by the crowd there, and they are so excited to see you.
It's getting obviously less because you got to think about it. I'm not going to get butthurt by it, but it's the nature of sports. And like, if you're getting into football now, do you know who Edgar Davids was? What? Who's that? I loved him as a football player, So like, I understand, there will be that sort of thing. But when I do get it, I mean, it's like an age demographic, isn't it? So people around my sort of age and a little bit younger, would know who I am. But now all these young kids want to aspire to be sort of like Nathaniel or Connor or that sort of stuff, right? So like, but when I do get recognised, it's very humbling. I really like it. Like it's like thanks. And like, for me as a competitor, as in like, I did get a lot of pops from the fans because they meant something to me. I mean, like I fought for the fans. I always wanted to be in exciting fights because at the end of the day, it's an entertaining sport. So if you're not entertaining, people don't watch you fight, you're going to be out of a job. It's like being a comedian. If you don't make people laugh, you're gone. So for me, I wanted to make people excited to watch me fight. So I always fought, like to make an impressive fight. So it's nothing more humbling and thing when someone, like, mate, love watching you fight. I'm like, thank you, because that's what I cared about. Like no, I wanted to be, known as an exciting fighter, and I mean, like, there's many. I don't know if you ever said this before, but there's many times within fights I've been on the floor out wrestling someone, and I'm like, it's a bit boring, and I let them up on this fight. And if I was a coach now, because I'm a coach now, I'd be like to my fighters, what are you doing? You're mental. Like, but no, that's what I would do in a fight. I'd be like, no, come on, let's go up. This is a bit boring now. Let's have a bit of a, rock and sock and robots or something, So, yeah, but so it is very, if I do get recognised, it is very humbling still,
Well, I've got a picture when I met you at one of the UFC Manchesters. I can't even remember. I don't even know why you weren't on the card. You must have been injured. You were there just like taking pictures with people, and you were there as a guest of the UFC. I can't remember why you weren't on the card, but like I was so excited to meet you before I knew you as a person.
Okay.
And like I remember like just showing all my mates, people outside of MMA who didn't know, but I was like, oh my God.
That is so humbling and touching. The thing, I mean, like, I don't class myself as super famous or whatever, but if I could do something in any way to make someone else's day better, it touches me. It's like, even if it's getting a photo with someone or saying hello to someone or speaking to someone, and it makes them better in any way, brilliant. It makes me happy, because I'm always about this thing with energy, where good energy, if you give out good energy, people are going to be, you have that around you. And that's what I'm very good with my team. It's all about, we have to train together as a team. We have to have a good team environment. You have a good work environment, you're going to have good athletes and good fighters. And it's very important. And it's not easy sometimes. You have different people from different walks of life and stuff like that. It's sometimes it's kind of hard to try and balance it all out and get, and stuff like that. So I always explain to people who we train with, I say, look, you all come from different walks of life, but you all have the same goal. You come here, we train. I'm not expecting everyone to go out and like go out to the pub together or maybe go to the pub, sorry. But you want to go to cinema, and I'm not expecting that, But I will, obviously, of course, I still like to do like little team events, go for like a team meal if I can, and try and bring them closer together, because it is very important, Like I always said, it's like, I know it's an individual sport, but you train as a team. It's not like boxing where you have your pad man and you bring in sparring partners to spar. It's like wrestling. It's like judo. It's like those Olympic. It's a team sport, so you need to have some good team emphasis. So I always think that is very important. And going back to what I was originally saying about energy, it's like, it's very contagious. Like you get some of those people in the gym, and they're like, you're like, come on, man. Yeah. And those people in the gym are like, you're just like, oh, I'm happy that guy's here because it makes me happy. So like, it's very contagious. So you have to make sure you have a very good training environment. Like, there's one of the examples that I used. I think I did it in lockdown, where I used to go for a run. I went for the first lockdown. I went running every day, like 10K and stuff. Every time I went for a run, every person I ran past, I said good morning to.
Yeah.
And no matter what, if they say good morning back, cool. If they don't, cool. But because I say good morning to someone, then everybody walk past and say good morning to the next person. Yeah. And if someone says good morning to you in the morning, Like, oh, good morning. It's weird. It's like kind of, it's nice, right? But
Yeah.
if I will have to swear on the show.
Yeah.
If I run past you and went, fuck you, you'd be like, what an arsehole. And then you walk past and you'd be pissed off and it'll affect your day. So you don't realise how affect, just doing some nice things to people here and there. It's very contagious and spreads that. So I'm very aware of one who I'm around and who I bring into that circle and how that circle kind of I'm doing this. I'm like Italian with my hands. Kind of like you got the right sort of energy.
100%, you can pick up on that energy with your team as well. And whenever I'm at an event, whoever's fighting, there's a big bunch of the team there, not just the people who've been helping you warm them up or whatever, but other people there, and they're buzzing for them when they won and they got their arms around them. If they didn't win, I can't remember the last time one of them didn't win, but like they're there for each other, and it is like a really good vibe. And whoever I speak to speaks so highly of the team and you, and it's a great atmosphere, and that speaks to that energy you're talking about. And
thank you.
Personally, you're a huge part of my journey in this sport. It was seeing your tweet that made me start training in the first place for Winter Warrior. And then another post of yours when I worked for you at Rise of Champions and got involved. That was me being involved in the show for the first time. And I even started doing this just so that I could promote Rise of Champions and speak to the fighters that were going to be on the card. So I always say to everyone that, like, you really were my stepping stone into all of this.
Thank you.
And that is just passing it on and giving back, and you've always done that all the way through. So
of course,
I'm expecting good things to happen from this gym, Brad. You've got a lot of good karma coming your way.
I mean, hopefully, I can pull in a few favors from people here to help bring my gym successful and promote it and so on and so forth. But I'm quietly confident, just in the product that I will provide, that if you're serious about the sport in any way, it's where you need to be. If you're not serious about the sport, you just want to train, still where you need to be. So there you go.
We're back.
Back. So for me, I'm very confident in the product that I can provide.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait till we can do one nearer the time when it's opening, and we could do a live.
We could do a live tour.
We'll do a live, and we'll have all the membership info and stuff like that for how people can come down and join and train with you guys. It's going to be absolutely amazing. As you said, it's been years in the making. I'm so pleased for you.
Thank you. Still I'm pinching myself, but before we signed the lease to the gym, I was always thinking, what's going to go wrong? Something's going to go wrong. But as soon as we signed the lease, I'm in for 10 years. I need to make this work, so it will work. It's going to happen, So, that was the big thing. Until we signed that lease, it wasn't happening to me, but the lease been signed. We're in. I've got a marriage now for 10 years.
Amazing. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we go?
No, obviously just for people out there, go on Instagram, follow the Instagram page. It's not crazy active at the moment. Well, it's not active at all, really, but follow that. There will be content going on there. Oh my God, I've got to stop doing that. I need some proper wireless ones. Just obviously just stay in touch, and come down and check out the gym and stuff.
And have a look on Nathaniel's Instagram to see the tour of the gym. It is really impressive. I know you said it's a building site.
It's not. It's a building site.
I think it's got the wow factor just in terms of the size and everything. It's going to be really, really cool.
I will be doing more content on my page and on the thing page as well. For me, I want to get more stuff up and when it's getting built and that sort of stuff. You know, like I think
Yeah.
it won't take a long time. As soon as I mean, I've got visions of it. As soon as all that mat's going, it's just going to look amazing. I can't wait. I got my own office there. You know, put my on the desk, put my feet up. You know, like this. You know, might get a PlayStation put in there or something.
It's going to be
I have a
wicked.
little throne for Bonnie to sleep on.
Of course.
Yeah,
Priorities.
yeah, of course. Yeah. No, but it's exciting. I mean, like, and like I say, it's going to be like a proper family-run business as well. My kids are going to be there. They're going to be learning. There's going to be plenty of kids' classes. You know, it's gonna be.
I've seen Poppy in the gloves already.
She's crazy. She's literally just gone to bed. I wish I could have spring in there for a little minute. She is amazing. She is crazy, but in a good way. In a good way.
Do you think she's more likely to be a fighter than Buddy?
Yeah, and like a lot of people say to me, "Do I want to push them into fighting?" For me, it's like whatever they have a passion for, I'll push. It could be ballet, it could be fighting. You have to have a passion for something to succeed. But even if they don't have a passion for it, they will learn it because it's a good life skill to have. You know, like I say, like if you learn how to fight, you don't have to fight by default because people will leave you alone anyway. So so it's a good life skill to have. 100% they will learn it. But he loves all sports at the moment. He's doing tennis, swimming, cricket, football. He loves sports and all that sort of stuff. So, Poppy, she's still young. She's mental. She's crazy. She's fearless. She'll be in the gym going mental 100%. So, yeah.
And into slugs and snails.
They're both. What I love about my kids as well, they both have bit like myself, very good natured, where they love animals. For me, like my kids are the same. I would never kill a fly or spider or anything like that. I just like boom, let it out the window and stuff like that. For me, I don't like to kill things for no reason, you know. So it's weird because I'm a cage fighter. Everyone thinks you're like that. Oh yeah, I just eat a pig's head. Look at this, you know. Whatever. I'm not. I'm far from that. I'm a very loving man with my family.
Oh, well, it's going to be amazing for them to grow up in the gym anyway and be on the mats and be around that environment. I think that's great, whether they just, you know, enjoy training or whether you are promoting them on a card one day.
I don't know. I mean, that's weird. That's going to be weird. Let's say, I don't know how I'd feel about it if it got to that stage. But let's say,
well, look at Jack and Richard Shaw. Like that must be a mad feeling for him to send his son off to
but also
fight
like
in there.
I see it firsthand. Nathaniel Wood and his dad Gary Wood. You know, I've been in the corner with Gary when we're cornering his son in the UFC, and it's different. I can see he is different when it's your kid in there. You know, I can only start to imagine now. I'm not in that position, so he wants to be there for his son as much as he can, but it's just not easy. I know that he sometimes would like to take a back seat and not be there, but he wants to be. It's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, sort of thing. So it's definitely not easy. I don't envy that position on a parent whatsoever.
No. Well, that's it. That's a few years off before you need to worry about that anyway.
Honestly, I think my son would be into computer engineering or something. He's just like loves maths and I think it'd be Minecraft or something. He'll invent some app. I swear he would invent some app. Poppy would be working in an insect center or something.
Well, it's been so nice catching up with you, Brad. I wish you all the best with the build out of the gym. And I'm so excited to see the finished product. I know it's going to be amazing. And I can't wait for the big unveil and for you to be open and get going.
Okay, thank you so much, Katie. Let me know what I can get this as well. Can I share this afterwards, or is it like, or is it just like live and that's it?
No, it's live, and then when it's done, we'll share it straight away. So it will be up there. It's on your Facebook already, and
I'll do a
yeah,
swipe up on my Instagram as well.
Cool. All right. Well, take care, Brad, and I'll speak to you soon.
Bye bye. Nice to see you again, Katie. Bye bye.
Bye.